Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beauty with a Twist. I'm super excited for this week's episode because we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Yvette Garcia. I go by Yvette G on Instagram. I'm a celebrity nail tech based in Los Angeles.
Girl,
Yeah.
you know how nervous I am? I'm sitting in the presence of a queen, Nicki Minaj.
I was like, I'm nervous. I'm gonna be nervous. I can't even say it right.
And this is our first time meeting, so I'm like, okay, I'm nervous. I don't know. We gotta see how it goes. But I'm like,
so far so good. Breaking the ice.
So tell me how you got started. Tell me your nail journey. And did you start with doing nails in the beginning, or did you have another path? Because how did you become one of the biggest celebrity nail techs out there?
Thank you. Hey, it's a story. So I basically started doing nails when I was like 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I started a long time ago. And I started doing nails when I lived in Mexico. So we just moved to Mexico, and my mom basically was like, you have to do something. I did the opposite. Like, instead of moving from over there to here, like, I was born and raised here and then moved over there.
Oh.
So then my mom had me like, you got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned how to do nails. I started doing nails over there. And then eventually we moved here. And then we just, I did it on the side always. It was always like a little side gig. And
Mm-hmm.
then I think by the time I had my son, I was like, you know what, I don't do this full time. And yeah, so far, that was like about 12 years ago that I've only nails.
And what part of Mexico did you move to?
Guadalajara.
So how long did you live out there?
I lived over there for like 5 years.
Okay. So
Yeah.
did you know nothing about nails? You literally just got a kit and you were just like...
So my mom had a friend. She was like the stylist. We all have like that one friend, like the
That's
beautician.
my aunt.
The beautician. She knows how to do all of it. She would do the
Yes.
waxing and the nails and the hair and everything, right?
Yes.
And I used to play the violin. So I remember for something, I don't know, I've always been like kind of like a little tomboy. I still am, but like a tomboy.
Artsy, too.
No, but I'm like more of like a tomboy. I'm creative, but I'm like, it was very much like a tomboy. But for some reason, the nails was like I didn't like to do anything with my hair or makeup. Like, I wasn't girly girl.
Uh-huh.
But I loved when she would do the nails and stuff. So I would convince her to do my nails once or twice. I would bite them off because I was a nail biter. So I bit them off in like 2 days or whatever. I remember for like some little thing, she would do my little nails, like super nubby nubs.
Yeah.
It was so funny. But that was like what I like to do. I like for her to do my little nails. And that's like my little introduction. And then I remember I would like polish them, or like I would like polish it. That would be as much as I knew. And then by the time I moved over there, I just did beauty school like all together. So I did everything, hair, makeup, everything.
So you did cosmetology.
I did cosmetology, all the whole thing.
Did you hate it?
I hated it. I hate hair. Like, I hated everything. But I like the nails was like, that was like, I really want to get to the nail part. So it was like, I remember it was divided. So I ran through the first part just so that I could get to like the nail part.
Yeah.
So that I could get to like the exciting stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they back then they didn't have just nail manicurist license, or they did?
I mean, this was in Mexico, so I don't know. This was also back. You didn't really need a license, but I just went to school. It was more of a way to keep me like busy and entertained and like just get in trouble, I guess.
So was that license able to?
No, I had to do it again here.
Oh.
Yeah, that was just for me to learn or whatever. But then once I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do like full time, then I got my license here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what made you decide to move back, or like did you?
Well, I was 19. My mom kind of just, I was going to college and everything over there. I was going to university and everything. And I really didn't want to come back. I liked it. Like, at that point, like, I'm like, you already put me over there and I'm already struggled.
Yeah.
And I adapted to it. I loved it. And then now I got to move back. But it's just, I had my mom, money wise or whatever, just to follow her. So
yeah. And how much would you charge for nails out there?
Oh my God. I still remember I had this big old cartulina, I don't know how you say it in Spanish, in English, like a big old board that I had because I used to do it out of like my mom.
So with all the prices.
Yeah, I had little prices. And I had like like whoever would pass by, I think it said 50 pesos.
What the hell is that? Like $5?
Yeah. Or less. Yeah, because the dollar's like 16. So yeah, now it's less. But back then it was around 10. So yeah, it was like about $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a full set.
Yeah, but then I was learning, right? So it was more so I could get people to practice. I just wanted people to come, right? And then I think eventually that's when I was in school and stuff. So I think once I got like the hang of it, or I started running up. But I think then eventually I think my like, little standard base price was like 200 pesos. It was like 200 pesos, 300, so like 200-300.
And did you have clientele out there?
I did.
You did?
I did.
I'm like, how did you just?
My clients were sad. I had because it started with like my little friends, right? So I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I was in high school and that's where it started.
So she tells her.
And all my little friends. I remember, they'll tell me now, like the ones that I still kind of in contact, they'll be like, oh, remember when you did my nails? Oh my God. I was like, yep. Yeah.
And now look at her. Okay, creative director. Don't play with her. Okay.
Yeah, it was a story.
So then when you moved back here, did you move with your family? Did you come? You had family out here?
Yeah.
So then
I just moved with my mom, and I moved with like an aunt back over here. Yeah.
And then you were like still doing nails full time?
I did it like on the side. At that point I had like a job. Like I was like a bill collector.
So then where were you doing nails?
I was just doing on like at my house, like on the side, it wasn't, you're not supposed to, with like friends and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I wasn't like professionally doing it. It was just like in the way of getting like a little extra money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it was still like a while for me to like eventually get into it, like completely.
So when you started doing nails and then you realized when you were out here, how did you grow your business? How did you say, hey, like maybe I'm going to start doing nails full time here? Did you just...
It was just word of mouth, because back then there was no Instagram, there's no social media, there was no nothing. Like right now it's so much easier. Yes. So much easier. I feel like now if you don't have like, it's a little oversaturated, but at the same time it's easier if you really perfect your craft, or if you really like form a bond or whatever, everybody has their thing. But I think back then it was hard, but it was mostly just word of mouth, honestly. Like it would be, and I remember I would only do nails like on the weekends or like at nights, like after work. Then I would still come and do it, know. And then eventually, like it was just kind of like it just, oh, when are you gonna, like, they wanted me to more. I'm like, I'm already working. I still have a job. Like, what am I supposed to do? And it was until my son was born. When he was born, that's where it was like, it all kind of like the universe helps you, because the universe was literally like, this is your time. Because the job that I was working at, I was great at my job. Like I had already been there for a while. I had benefits, I had all like the good stuff, right? But you get comfortable. And the job ended up, they were like, the company was moving to like Carlsbad or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not moving over there. Yeah. So then I remember my husband at the time, he had said, well, like, you can't do everything. You have just had a son. You just had a baby. You can't be working and doing nails. One of them has to go. And I was like, bet I'm not working no more then. Oh, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bet. Yeah, because it was like the company was already closing. Yeah. I was going to get a good little severance pay. I was going to be on unemployment. So I was like, perfect. That'll be my little cushion. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he would work. I was like, wow, my clients are ready for me to work more. And sure enough, the moment I like left, it was the cousin that did it. Like, it was just boom. And I got busy. Like, so I'm blessed. Like, I've always been. Yeah.
So it was mostly word of mouth.
Yeah.
And then did you work right away after you gave birth to your son?
I waited like a little bit. I worked pretty quickly. Like, I think like within like a month. I think like.
See, because people think I'm crazy. I tell them I'm going to come back in a month. They're like.
Yeah, I did a month.
They're like, well, you should take off like 8 weeks. I said, no.
No, I went back to work after a month. But I think nails, I think sooner than that. Because I was at home. So I could and my clients were like, just take your time. It's okay. Like, I was taking little breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after that, you grew word of mouth. Did you decide to move outside your house into like a station? You rented a station or?
So I started I still had in my house. I had all my clients there. It took me a minute. My mom had a bridal shop. Like my mom and aunt had like a little bridal shop. So then they kind of fixed the back. Like, hey, you want to come over here? So I went to like I remember my aunt would help me like take care of the baby. Like some of my OG clients, I think I still have like a couple of them. They remember, like, I remember when he was like in a stroller. Like, you'd literally be working with him with a stroller there. Yeah. I was like huge. So like, yeah, it's been, my mom helped me a lot. So then that helped. And I had my little clientele with that. And then my mom switched locations. So when she switched locations, she's like, now we have more space. She gave me like a whole little area, bigger area. Mm-hmm. And then, trying to remember what happened. Oh, and then after that, and then I worked at a really big salon. Like, I'm not gonna say names, but I worked at a big salon that was like a celebrity.
No, salon.
You already know. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, whatever happened there, at the end of the day, I'm grateful. Things have to happen for a reason. And I mean, I got a lot of clients there, and I got a lot of experience there. Met a lot of cool people there.
Yeah. So that's how you met your celebrity nail techs.
Some of them. So that's how I met like some of my celebrity clients. Like, yeah, some of them. So it was like a couple, because back then it was like when that influencer era was like huge.
Yes,
so
YouTube.
Social media was huge.
Yes, like
it
YouTube
was all
era.
about who you knew and tag me and post me and shout me out and all that stuff. Now it's not that deep, but like back then it was like huge. So I had like one or two that like stuck with me, and I remember I had clients who would be like, leave this place, like, why are you still here? And I'm like, no, I can't do that, because I was like loyal. Things happened for whatever. Again, the universe pushed me. I feel like every single thing I've been pushed. I wasn't ready for it.
Dude, were you booth rented at this?
No, I was an employee, but
that's why your clients are telling you, like, get out of here.
Yeah, it was like not, because it wasn't also like the best place, but it worked out, because then things happened. The guy got fired. fired. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm trying to remember. And then it was kind of like, yeah. So then I was like, bet, okay, fine, let's go. So then my clients, like most of them, you know, they tried to follow me. Some I took, some I didn't, but they were, you know, yeah, they and then it just kind of grew from there, you know.
So then after you went there, did you go to another spot or did you make your own spot?
I went back to my mom's, but this time, like, we had, like, I cleaned out this whole back area that she had. So I cleaned it all out and it just turned it into like a little studio.
Okay.
That was, and then I was just there for like a while until like I was able to rent like a little studio.
Yeah. So then you rented a studio and then you had a nail salon, right?
I rented the studio for a while longer, and then I rented another spot, and then I had a nail salon. And then that nail salon I had because I had a client, amazing, I love her to death. She was like, hey, have you ever thought about having open a nail salon? And I was just like, I mean, I want to, but you know, it's like cost this.
Yes.
Again, I was like scared, so I was just like, and then she was like, oh, you know, we could do this, whatever. And she was kind of like the one that pushed me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we opened up a nail salon, and yeah, I did pretty good. We did really good, honestly.
Where was it located?
It was on Ventura. It was in the Valley in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then how long did you have that place for?
We had it for, I think it was open for about, let me say, like 3 years. Yeah, about 3 years.
Dang. So did you have other nail techs working there?
Yeah, I had a couple. I had one of the, when I switched over, I was like looking for nail techs. So we had, I think I had like 2 or 3 nail techs, because I wanted it to be like a very, because I did come from a bad experience of the nail salon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that. So my biggest thing was like, I want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable, everybody grows,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know. So I remember you know, one of my girls that she's still with me, she still helps me out a lot. She's actually works with me on Pink Friday and everything. And she already knew how to do nails. Like, she just got her license like not too long ago or whatever. And then you know, just kind of trained her, and you know, and I was like, oh, I'm like, you're gonna have to rent your station eventually, girl. Like, I can't, like, you know, I had to like push her, like, I had to force her.
Yeah.
So, you know, she was like, no, I'm scared. I was like, no, you're not. Just you know. And now she still laughs now. She was like, yeah, he was mean, and he was just like big me. I was like, girl, you need people to push you. Like, that's one thing I learned. Sometimes you need that push.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, you know, I convinced her. So like, they became booth renters. So, you know, obviously as a salon owner, you don't always make the money, but to me, I just wanted that space. I was like, I knew eventually, like, my goal was to have people come in, train them, and then rent them. But I think when I had the salon is right when things had shifted. So it was just like, I kind of opened it at the wrong, and even with all those little struggles and setbacks, we had a lot of setbacks. We did great for that salon, but there was just like, I was just constant like fighting. And I was just like, something just told me like, no, but I learned a lot though. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I just did it because that's like what you're supposed to do, right? As a beauty industry, like, you're supposed to have a salon.
Yeah. That's what they say. And then I'm like, I miss sometimes being solo.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, I love it.
I always say, I'm like, there's so much stress when it comes to salon.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening to your salon?
So first we got broken into, then COVID happened, then a car ran into the salon, like literally crashed into the salon.
Was it on the main street?
Yeah, well, because it's right on Ventura, but it was like the dumbest thing. I wasn't there, but some of my girls were. Luckily, nobody was hurt. We had these big stairs right in front, so like the way the car, it was like Escalade, like an old Escalade. So I think that's what kept the driver safe, because it was like an old car.
Yeah,
and it was a kid. He was like 16, and I don't know if he was like trying to like park or shift or what the heck, and instead he just rammed in. So luckily he wasn't going that fast, but it was enough to like bent the whole front, like the whole, like those type of doors just kind of shifted him in. Yeah.
So it was a salon. It was before or after closing?
I think I'm trying to remember the timeline, but I think we just kind of like barely like reopened a little bit. I think,
shit.
Yeah, I think we had just kind of like finally or something, and we're just like, damn it. Like, it was like one thing after another.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
So it was bad luck already.
It was just a lot. Yeah.
So then after you just completely closed it?
Once the lease was up, our lease, that's another thing. Like, our landlord was trying to be greedy and be like, trying to charge us like an arm and a leg. I was like, no, like, sir,
how
like,
was
we
that
just
your
had
fault?
COVID. And no, so it was COVID. Like, we just got out of COVID. Like, people aren't opening salons right now. Like, nobody's opening a business.
A lot of people are closing, actually.
You're lucky that we're still here. And yeah, we just eventually he went all the way down to like less than what I was paying, just so I wouldn't leave. And I was about to sign a lease and everything, and there's just something told me like, nope,
don't do it.
Don't do it. And I'm like, because then after that, a lot of other stuff just happened. Like, it opened me up to be free to be able to do more things. Because as a salon owner, you know, you have to be here. There's so many things that you have to be responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized like that just wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want to be tied down. Like, for me, I want to do the traveling. I want to go there. I want to go over there. Like, that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So then you closed it completely. Then your girls left, right? Or
so what happened when we closed? Luckily, my friend was about to open a salon, which I worked with her at that other salon. We were like super close friends, and then she was looking for people, and I was like, hey, you guys. So I had my two, at this point I have just two girls, super like amazing, talented nail techs. And I was like, okay, guys, so I'm gonna go over here. She's in K-Town area. I was like, she has 3 stations. Would you guys want to come with me? Now, instead of paying me rent, you just pay her. And they were like, yeah, sure. You know, so then they all came, and we're still there. 2 of them. The other girl, she went back to Valley because it was kind of harder for her.
Yeah.
Most of her clients were Valley based.
Yeah.
My clients were kind of a mixture of everywhere, so they didn't really care.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still there for her. And it's nice because it's my friend. I feel comfortable. I trust her.
You're solo.
Yeah.
You're just renting, you know?
Yeah. And I still, because it is someone that I know, someone that I'm close to, I still feel that freedom.
Yeah.
Like, I still feel comfortable. I don't feel like, you know.
Yeah.
And none of us take like walk-ins or anything like that. It's solely like we all just rent our stations. We all have our clients. So we don't even open to the
So public. Now that you're so big, like in the celebrity nail tech industry, like you do so many celebrities, do you still take new clients? Do you still take clients at all?
I do. So I have my regular clients. I did have to cut down my clients, obviously, to be able to have that like freedom to kind of like pick up and go and that flexibility. So the clients that I do have, a lot of them, they already know they know, unfortunately, that I might have to cancel them or I might have to like switch them up. So I those are the ones that kind of stuck around. A lot of them were like, hey, you know what? Like they have like stricter jobs, or I'm like, I understand, that's on you. So they moved in. A lot of them we still talk on like social media, or they still text me, or they're like, so I'm still cool with them and everybody because they knew it was like more of like a career thing, you know. It wasn't because I didn't want to take them or anything. I do take new clients here and there because I feel like I need that change sometimes. I like that little shift. So here and there, I do take clients. I'll post like, okay, taking a few new clients if I notice.
And that shit gets booked right away. Trust me. I'd be one of them.
The thing with that, though, is when I do, because I kind of want to do specific things, I kind of pick and choose. So I'll be like, okay, I'll take like 1 or 2, but it's because I want you to do like, are you going to do long nails? If you're going to do short nails, I'm sorry. I just you know what I mean? Like,
I ain't your girl.
Yeah, yes. Like I love it, but it's just I don't have the space for it. Like I'd rather do like something really cool that I could like, you know.
Yeah, like your freedom on like to design
a little more creative.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then so now that you so you still take clients, but how did you get introduced to your celebrities? Like how did you so you said you worked at the salon.
Yeah, so at the salon I had one of my clients, I think he helped me a lot, Jeffree Star. He's been my client for like 10 years now. So he really helped me a lot. You know, he was one of the ones that was like, slave. Like he was like, just go, you know? And he's you know, he's been loyal to me and I've been loyal to him. And I just, you know, we kind of just formed like it just works out. You know what I mean? Like we get along. It's been great. And once I started doing him, obviously he had a lot of influence back then, especially back then. And then obviously people started hitting me up. You know, I did like Patrick Star. I did a lot of those influencers from back in that era, that YouTube era. And then it just, again, word of mouth, right? And then from there, I'm trying to remember. I think eventually I didn't really reach out to anybody. I think everybody just kind of reached out to me. And then eventually I forgot who the first like,
I'm like, how'd you score Nicki? Like,
I'm trying to remember and I can't remember. Somebody hit me up like, hey, can you do Nicki? I said,
but do they ask you to do free on them? No, because I've heard that from
the ones that ask you for free are the influencers.
I know, I've heard that. That's why I just want to. I know it's always like, I'll trade you.
Not
you
all
do
of
my
them.
Nails? Yeah, I'll trade you. You do the nails, then just shout me out, or I'll shout you out for
that. Worked back then, not anymore.
Yeah,
it doesn't work anymore.
And you know, someone told me, I can't say who, but they mentioned, I used to do that a lot, and sometimes they wouldn't even post the nails.
Yeah.
Or sometimes like I would drive 3 hours from here to there, and they wouldn't even at least give me a tip for just even going over there. I'm like, so you just went all over there for free, not getting paid, not getting a tip, nor getting a shout out. I'm like, yeah, I think that is crazy.
Yeah. And see, I think that's the problem nowadays is like, so many people get into this because they want to do the celebrities. Like that's one of the questions I get to ask the most is like, how do you get to do it in celebrities? I'm like, I just happened. Like I never seeked it.
Yeah.
Like that was not a goal of mine was, I want to do celebrities. My goal was always like, honestly, when I first, like I didn't even know this nail world was that big. That's like the number one. Like I didn't even know that the endless possibilities. Like you can work with brands. You can work on commercial. Like right now, my favorite thing now that I know is like, I love doing commercials. Give me a Target commercial. I just did a KFC.
I know, Kiss.
Did you see that? I did KFC commercial. Like
KFC?
Yes. Yeah. Like that's where like, you know what I mean? Like I love those like little things. You know, I love the editorial. I love the pretty things. You know, we all love the cover shoots.
Yes.
Those don't really pay, but there's good because it gets your name out there. So I think that's the biggest thing is people want to do like the celebrities and they want to like, how do you do this? I think your goal should be your own career. Like, how do I establish myself as myself? Not because I'm so-and-so's nail tech. Like, yes, obviously people are going to always be like, oh, you're so-and-so's nail techs, you do so-and-so. But I think I've worked enough in this industry, especially like I did, I worked a lot with like brands and I've done a lot of trade shows. So like people in the industry will know, okay, maybe not the newer ones, because I feel like a lot of new techs, they don't, obviously it's like a whole new round of nail techs now.
Yeah.
They don't know who the hell I am. But like the older ones, a lot of people do, because
you're like an OG.
Yeah. And I used to do classes and all that stuff back in the day. So I've done everything. I've done like a little bit of everything.
So like this whole, you're transforming into like a commercials, more like how the hell did you do KFC? What did you do for KFC?
Then that's where we go into like, that's the next level thing, right? Once you do the celebrities, you have a few celebrities. That's when I got reached out by like an agency. They're like, hey, so now I have an agent.
Yeah.
So that's where then you got those type of gigs. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay, you know? So then that agency, it was cool. I loved them. And then unfortunately they had to let me go because like, again, something with COVID. I was like one of the last people they took on. So they let me go. And then I got taken on by another agency, which I love. I love my agency right now. But I still do a lot of my own stuff.
Oh, so you still do like the back end, like you're still free.
Yeah. Like people still, there's no exclusive. Like if somebody, I don't have to send them off to them. That's more for like the bigger jobs, or they can find me stuff. Or if I feel like something comes to me and I really don't know, okay, I don't know how to handle this, or, you know, then I'll pass it to them, you know, like, hey, can you help me? Obviously, you know, they take a commission. But that's the cool thing about those is, I mean, it's pros and cons. You just have to outweigh it.
Yeah. My biggest question is, okay, I know a creative director, but how did you become the creative director for Pink Friday? Like, girl, that's huge. Like, literally, he had his own booth at Rolling Loud, right? Yeah. Did you design the nails? Like, what is it?
Yes.
Like,
so basically, I've been doing Nicki's nails since when she was pregnant. I think around the time she was pregnant. Okay, that's when I started doing her nails, right? And like I said, they just reached out. So, you know, and I think, was it COVID times? I think so.
COVID is COVID.
COVID was, it was a weird time. Yeah. Man. So things worked a little bit differently. So I think did it. So it was like you were that bubble. But yeah, I started to, don't quote me. Okay. I don't remember right now. But the point is, I started doing nails when she was pregnant. We would do her nails. I think I started before or after. I don't remember. Like 5 years. Man, I can't remember. But the point is, I did her nails for a while. And then obviously the thing with celebrities is like you can't be too like, because they're gonna go to other people sometimes if you're not available because of schedule, so you can't get too butthurt if they don't. So I think she went with other people, whatever, and I hadn't been doing her nails for a while, and then she hit me up again, and then eventually she just started doing press-ons. Like once her son was born, she just couldn't, because some people just can't sit because it's a process. And you know, it's a process, obviously,
especially for those type of nails.
Exactly.
Right?
So you can't sit there, especially because they want the bling, they want the crazy, they want the, you know. So she eventually just started doing press-ons. So she's like, you want to do press-ons? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I started making her own press-ons for like photo shoots or whatever. I would do her nails for like, you know, music videos, stuff like that. You know, more of that type of thing. And
for a music video, right? Sometimes they change their nails like 3 times a shoot or 4. So to do acrylic. Yeah,
you can't. You have to do press-ons. But luckily, that's when, you know, all these like gel extensions came in where like the nail's already there. So it's so much easier now. As opposed to before, I had to make the press-on and custom make it. But eventually that became easier. And yeah, I actually hadn't done her nails for like a little while because she hadn't really been doing her nails or doing anything. And then out of nowhere, she hit me up like, hey, I'm starting this line. And we had talked about it kind of vaguely. And she was like, I'm starting this, like, and I want you to be a part of it. Like, they're going to hit you up. Let me know what you think. We're having a meeting. I'm like, okay, sure. And we had this meeting and I was like, I'm in. And they're like, you have to come up with certain designs. She's like, I want things. Basically, the whole thing was she wanted people to be able to wear the nails that she had. So she's like, let's start with designs you've already done. So I kind of had to like, you know. Yeah. And so I made a bunch of designs. I remember the first samples were horrible. Not even close. And I think when we finally kind of dwindled down to like, you know, we asked her, she was obviously, well, now we know she was prepping for her tour. She was prepping for her, like, we didn't know this back then. So she was like, I have a lot on my plate. Basically was like, I'll let you handle that. Like she was involved, but it was a lot of me and her. As opposed to like, let's check with her. Like, so to kind of like make it faster, like certain things I already knew she liked. So I would bring it to her like, okay, the more concrete, so she could make like this, you know, a little easier for her. Because as opposed to just showing her everything, you know, I'd be like, I already know she's not gonna like that, so get that out. You know, things like that. So it, we've just worked on it together. And we even went to China to like figure out like how like where we're gonna manufacture and do all that stuff.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you went with her to China?
No, I went instead of her because she couldn't. Because again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. So you really took creative directing to.
Yeah.
So
back then I was just a designer, and then somehow it just turned into this. They're like, yeah, I think that's not a sufficient title. Like, so they were like, yeah, like basically, you know, I was part in like choosing the boxes and everything, like a little bit of everything too.
That is so cool. So Rolling Loud was just a booth of where you guys showcased her work, or there were your nails though, right? They were giving out.
They're designs. Yeah. So all the designs that are Pink Friday, all the designs, I made the designs.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. So I did all the designs for him. We tweaked them. We did certain things. You know, obviously certain things aren't able to be produced as like, you know, so we had to adjust certain things or like adapt, but they're basically all like based off of sets I've done on her before. Whatever's coming next is some of them are part of like the tour ones that she wore. Cause I did make her some custom ones for the tour, but those are also coming. So like, that's kind of like the bases, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, Rolling Loud reached out and they wanted to do like a little booth because they had like the hair and they do them all that stuff. So it was cute, and I mean it fit in perfectly.
Yeah. It was in the VIP section.
Yeah,
right? I seen.
Ooh. Yeah.
So do you feel like now, because you have a big following on Instagram, so like do you feel like working with celebrities got you there, or do you feel like you just, because you said you did classes, right?
Yeah.
Like how did you grow your following? Because it's pretty.
It's funny because I've lost a lot of people because I kind of there was a time, I'm gonna be honest, like I love social media, but sometimes it just gets a little overwhelming and I look completely disconnected. So I think like a while back, I just kind of disconnected. I haven't really been as active as I should. I've been focused more on like the work and the aspect, like in that point. But I think, yeah, a lot of my following did grow. I mean, even when I was at that salon that I was at, my following was already growing. Because I think I just like what I was posting or the type of my work. It was mostly just my work.
Yeah.
And then once I started doing like the influencer stuff, then it was, you know, obviously the shout outs and stuff that boosted it and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I feel like you're right. Like it's just so draining, especially when you're a business owner and you have so much going on.
That's a job on its own.
Yeah. And it's like hard. Like that's why I took breaks too. Cause I'm just like, dude, it's just draining. And like, I just lose, I don't know. I just lose myself in social media. You know what I mean? So do you just have Instagram or do you have TikTok?
I have Instagram and TikTok right now. Yeah.
Do you post a lot on TikTok?
No, I should though. I should. Everybody keeps telling me I should do like lives and stuff. I was like, I'll do it eventually. I am gonna get back into it.
Yeah.
Because I think now, because of the Pink Friday, I have more time and less time, but I do have a little bit more time in the sense of like I have a little more control over my time. And then I also kind of cut back on stuff because, you know, I have my son and he's 12, and I think this is the age where he needs a little bit more. So there's certain things that I had to cut back on, or like I'm okay with like maybe not having as many like day-to-day clients as opposed to before, where I was like I had to be hustle mode. And, you know, now I'm like there's days when I'm like I have like way more time for myself and my family. Yeah. And then I'm like, because, you know, he's gonna be a teenager soon, and then you're not really gonna care.
Do you have a set schedule?
No.
Well, so you work just
whenever. Yeah. What I do try is when I have my regular clients at the salon, I try to kind of do them all the same day, so that I'm like okay, I'll go once or twice a week.
Yeah.
And do those. And then, you know, the thing is like with agency jobs and stuff, they'll hit you up like, hey, are you available tomorrow to do so and so? Okay, cool. So you have to have that little bit of
freedom. Yeah. So do you want to do classes at all again?
Yes, I definitely plan on doing some for next year. That's for sure.
Because I know like online courses are huge too.
I like doing the in-person.
Me too.
I really like doing the in-person. I did a really huge. I did one with Chon Legend.
I know.
Yeah,
loved that for gel. He does Gel X, right too. Well, he does anything.
He does anything. Yeah. So we work together too. I've known him also since forever. Like we've been friends forever too. And we've worked together, like, you know, it's always funny because, like, I remember at certain points that people would be like, oh, so I'm like, we're friends, you guys. Like, not everybody has to hate on everybody. We're all friends.
Yes.
So we're part of, like, that OG, you know? So we did a really dope-ass class, like,
I think I seen on Instagram.
Yeah, it was super cool. So I was like, that level of class. I don't think people do that level of class anymore. It got a little oversaturated. So I'm just kind of waiting for things to. And,
you know, that was one of my questions is, like, do you feel like the nail industry is like oversaturated?
Oh, that's absolutely. Everybody and their mama thinks they can do nails now. Yeah, I mean, not to clown people or talk shit or anything, but it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. What do you think makes a good nail tech though?
I think it depends, because there's a difference between a nail artist and a nail tech, right? A nail tech, it involves way more skills. If you don't know how to do it, sorry, this is going to cause some stuff, but if you don't know how to do acrylic, you're not a nail tech. You're a nail artist. If you're a gel X tech, you're a nail artist because you like the art. You like I don't consider that or a nail. Like, for me, a nail technician is like, you know how to do all the mediums: gel, hard gel, acrylic. Whether you choose to specify or be on one, that's the goal. Like, you want to be able to learn, okay, I can do acrylic, I can do gel, I can do gel X, but I want to be like, okay, you know what? I don't want to do acrylic because I get it. Most people don't want to do acrylic. Mm-hmm. I want to be like specialized in the one thing, but you know how to do everything. That's most people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Or most people just see a little YouTube video or a little course. They don't have no license and they just be like, I'm a nail tech. It's like, you're not nail tech. You're a nail artist. I'm not taking it away from you, but it's different. So like it's next levels.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a good nail tech, I think you need to learn how to shape. It's a good shape. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do the most craziest like hand painted designs, because I can do certain things, but I can't do everything, because that's like a whole new level of artistry, which is amazing. So I think you need to know how to put colors together and mesh certain, if you're doing just a French, like how to do a French, like, so good artistry, knowing how to shape, knowing how to build a nail. Mm-hmm. Even if it is just gel, like, you still have to know how to shape it.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to like, right?
Yeah, or like the little bump, like, like there has to be a way, or like all the gel and certain things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it has to be a combination of, because I remember back in the day, people would come and get your acrylics done with one person, and then you get your art with somebody else. Like,
really?
Little nail shops.
Well, because they wouldn't know.
Because this is OG shit.
Yeah.
This is like back in the little chop shops.
That's where I used to go.
Yeah, everybody.
And I remember that. That's so funny, because I would always go with one guy to shape, but then other girl would do the nail design because he didn't know how to do it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's so true.
So I think like a good nail tech, or good, should be able to do all of it. They should be able to do a good, you come out with that person does a really good shape, beautiful shape, and longevity. Make sure your nails stay. That's another one.
Make sure,
because your nails could be real beautiful, but if they're going to pop up in a week or lift, what's the point?
Yep. That's so true. Mm-hmm. That's some good advice, because I've been seeing everyone. I see a lot of nail. That's so crazy that you said that, because I see a lot of people so good at nail art, and then I realize that it's not acrylic. It's just gel X.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because that's also
yeah.
Clients love it because it's easy. You take it off. It's amazing, and it saves so much time.
And it says it's healthier for your nails, right?
It's all the same thing. That's all. At the end of the day, it's how you apply and how you remove.
Okay.
It's not what you use. Oh, people are like so scared of acrylic. Acrylic ripped my nails. No, you ripped your nails off, or your acrylic or your nail tech ripped off your nails. You know what I mean? It's not the medium or like the actual product that you use. It's how it was applied, or sometimes they don't take it off right.
Yeah.
So
don't look at my nails.
I was like, I have no nails on right now, but they were on their healing mode.
So do you feel like the industry now, the nail industry changed so much over time?
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel the same way too, because I feel like I don't feel like the chop shops don't even get love anymore. I honestly feel like I only go for pedicures sometimes, if that. But like, I don't really see them do hand nails, because I remember when I would go and they're like, oh, do you need hands done? I'm like, I just went to go get them done. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's changed so much.
So much. It's a whole different thing. The sad part is I see a lot of salons where like there's really good people, but people sometimes don't give them the chance. But then I also notice this is the thing where I guess it depends on what's important to you. Mm-hmm. For example, as are you going to get some people, it's their hair. They're willing to spend all this money on their hair, and that's like the essential.
Yeah.
Other people, it's their nails, right? Other people, it could be their lashes. Like, you can't catch them without their lashes. Mm-hmm. So I think it just depends. And I could tell people like, oh, I paid $250 for lashes. They're like, oh my God, you're crazy. I would never. I pay $150. Oh, okay. I think it just depends on what. So if somebody appreciates the nail artistry, like the art, and they're like more about the artistry, then you go to like those dope nail artists who like can paint faces on nails and stuff like that. But that should be a fortune, because you're paying for art. That's not just nails. That's art.
Yeah.
Which is different.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I just want a nice little shape, a nice crisp little color, as long as it looks nice and neat. I don't care about the art. It's beautiful, but it's not for me. I just want nice, clean, beautiful nails.
Yeah.
Then you go to that person.
Yeah. Do you charge a lot for nails?
Yes.
I want to know your pricing.
No.
I need to know your pricing, because I'm like itching. Okay. See, for me, let me tell you, typically I used to go to this one artist. She's known for long blinged nails. I used to get that, but I wax. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be poking them. Okay? I really can't. She goes, I can't. I do men too.
Oh.
So I can't poke them. Okay? But I started going, shout out to Gio, and he knows what I like.
Yeah.
So I get the cute almond set, but for my birthday, I go all out. So I want to know if I want a long, extra long acrylic, sculpted, whatever, diamond set. How much?
It just, see, that's, I usually don't talk about, it just depends. You know what I mean? It just depends on like the time and stuff. And I think it depends
just
if
say
you're
it,
gonna
girl. Say the fucking number.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna say. I just don't like to say the number because then a lot of people will be like, "You watch, you're gonna people like, oh my god, that's crazy. Why would you pay it just because she does so?" Like, yeah, that's exactly why.
That's exactly why. Shout that shit. I would be like, yeah, that's why I charge what I charge.
Yeah. You don't have to come to me. Like nobody's forcing you to come to me.
Yes. So tell me, just give me a little number. I'm trying to get it out of her so y'all know. So y'all really know.
Like the blings and stuff. Like, well, let's just say like, like it depends on. Yeah, it'll be in the few hundreds.
Yeah. Does anyone ever complain about the pricing?
No, because they know that
they know.
Yeah, because even my regular clients, like when it's like something extra, like you said, you have your regulars and then you have your like little bling, right? Mm-hmm. So I had like a client that's like, oh, she want these, like, okay, this is gonna be a little more pricey, like not because I know they could pay it, but also I don't know if they're budgeting. I don't know if they got like plans or if they, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, it's my birthday next girl. I don't care. Okay, bet. Let's go.
We're gonna run up the
$1,000. Let's get. You know what I mean?
How long do you take on nails? Like,
I do take a while. So I used to. That's one thing that has kind of changed because I have been doing nails for 20 years. Yeah, this year's gonna be 20 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing nails, but I've protected my hands. Like that's one thing I always tell people. Like I see girls with like carpal tunnel and they've been doing nails for like 4 years. I'm like, girl, I've been 20 years. Thank God. Knock on wood. Oh, no, it's not wood. Damn it. I was like, but I'm like, my hands, like they hurt, my elbow, little things, but not to that level. Not really. I think for me, my biggest thing is like my elbow. I have like that tennis elbow because like the way I'm positioned.
Yeah.
And sometimes my thumb. So I've had to slow down because when I'm doing really, really fast, that's when I'm putting more pressure and I'm like stressed. And then that's when I start getting pains. But if I like kind of slow down, then I'm like, I can work and I don't need to do. So my goal was now I'm at the point where I can do less, but I make the same or more.
See, because I'm thinking like maybe you'll take one client and make what you make. Some people make, if they do 4 clients, you make that in one day with one client, and but you take longer because
because I can.
Yeah.
Unless my client wants me to be like, hey, I need to get out.
How about new clients? Do you tell them the price if they send you a picture, say, hey, I want this?
They usually kind of, because I feel like if people are reaching out, they kind of expect like, okay, she's going to be kind of expensive. So then I'll give them like my base price. Okay, like this is my base price. And then it just depends on, because mostly people would want like the crazy bling and stuff like that. And also like stones right now are like all the crystals are so expensive. Even for us, it's got to a point where I don't even want to waste crystals on me because it's like, how? Like I haven't done a bling set in a minute because it's like, oh my God, there's so much money on my nails right now.
There's this one set. It's silver. It's stiletto. It's long. It's on your page. A diamond out. I've seen it. That one is crazy. It's all Swarovskis.
Yeah, most of my stuff was like Swarovski.
Yeah, it was freaking beautiful. And it was, for me, I'm like, I don't know. Does that shit not get stuck in your hair?
Well, if you do like a full, usually it doesn't. Like if you do like kind of like, if you do like big stones in the center and kind of like fill it up with stones around, it kind of seals them in so it doesn't. When you do the big chunky ones, those do.
Yeah. Because I'm like, one day, girl, I'm going to do it. One day.
Yeah, a lot of those blingy crazy ones usually are like house calls, so those are like a few thousand. You charge for like the day and like the trip or like whatever. Yeah.
So do you do any house calls for like clients or just celebrities or?
I don't pick like celebrities. I like regular clients. Like I like my everyday more than I really want to kind of steer away sometimes from the celebrities because like it takes up a lot of time. Because then they're like getting up to do things. Because, you understand they have stuff to do. Yeah. Like I just did one, like it was at a hotel and she was getting ready for like a award show or something. And she's getting her hair done, makeup done, everything done. And she had to be out.
So like this.
So no, she was pretty good. But she had her hand down. But the entire time she had to go to the restroom. She had to go eat real quick. So all that, an appointment that could take you, if it was like a regular, it was literally just a French mani. And it literally took hours. Because you have to kind of pause or you're kind of like, you have to do one hand first and then move over to the other hand.
Yeah. That's crazy because I'm like, I know that there's so much going on that, just for me, for example, my shout out to Gio again. He hates when he does my nails. Okay, I'm probably the worst nail client ever. Once because I hate when he files my nails too hard. I got sucky nail beds, I think, or something because it hurts.
And so you're the one that are ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yes, oh. I'm one of those.
I was like, oh.
He's like,
I was like, girl, if you don't stay,
that's him. He's like, girl, if you just don't calm down, like, and I'm just like, dude, it just hurts. Like, I don't know what it is. So I don't know.
So you're a Cancer because you're sensitive.
Yeah, just my nails and my lashes, whatever. Okay, I am a bad lash client. Anyways, that's besides the point. Do you
she just outed herself all the way?
Do you work with like a certain nail brand? I know I've seen Kiss, right? You did a commercial.
I mean, I did that. That was before. Obviously, now I'm with Pink Friday, so that's like opposite. Honestly, I used to work with certain brands. I used to like certain brands. I know everybody is like super hyped up on certain brands. I'm not a fan because they're overhyped.
See, that's why I'm asking, because I know that there's certain brands out there that have certain contracts in that contract, and I just get all the chisme. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah. There's a lot of tea in this world. That's the advantages of being around for so long. Like, I worked with a lot of brands, and then even if you don't, you get the tea from other brands, and then you realize like where are these products coming from. And that's another thing. Like, now that I got into like I got to see the manufacturing side of stuff. I mean, yes, it was for press-ons, but it's you learn so much. You're like, oh. So a lot of these things that you think are like amazing, or these people that are like, oh, we make them in-house or we do them in, no. It's all just bought bulk. It's all from the same stuff, and they just kind of, they maybe can custom the colors and stuff like that. But it's a lot of it's very much the same. Or they start off really good, but then once they get everybody hooked, then things start changing. You're like, but why are you changing?
Yeah.
And there's brands that I worked with for years and I like loved, and I'm like, why?
Is it because they're overselling it, or is it because what?
That's one question I still haven't really figured out. Mm-hmm. You know, right now, me personally, I use this brand. The brand's called Charisma. It's such a tiny little brand. And I personally know her, and it works. Like, it works for me. But then that's another thing. It depends on how you work. Everybody works differently. The way that I work, the way that I wear my acrylic, I like that acrylic. It works for the way that I apply it. Some people will apply it differently, different techniques. I don't like my stuff to be runny. I don't like that whole like blob. Like, I don't like that. Because to me, it doesn't hold. Like, it doesn't have structure. But yeah, like, I just kind of tried a bunch of products, and that's one of the ones that I like right now.
Yeah.
But it's like not a popular, oh my god, whatever, but it's the lady that owns the brand. She's very well known, and she's been in the industry, so she put her, like, she knows what she did. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. And I feel like too, a lot of nail techs now, all they want to do is get sponsored just by this brand. And
it's a very different dynamic. They're very different, what do you call it, like, world, or different, I forgot, like, I don't know how to explain the word, like
the industries
in general. It's just very different, like how things work now. Like, people get into the nails to do that.
Yeah, they literally specifically say, hey, I'm gonna get $1 because I'm about to post this.
Which they do. Hey, get your money though.
I know.
Get your money. I'm not hating.
Trust me.
I'm not hating.
Listen,
like, get your money. Am I gonna do it? No, because I don't like the product, and I'm not gonna sell something that I personally don't believe in. Yeah. But I also realize that I'm in a point where I have the luxury to do that.
Yeah, because you've been in the industry for...
Yes, and I don't necessarily need to, but if you're... Like, I don't hate people for, like, girl, you do your money. Now, there's brands where I'm like, girl, you know that completely sucks. Like, come on. Like, there's certain things where I'm like, do you know? So I remember I worked with another brand, which I can't mention, and they wanted me to sell something, and I was like, I don't like that, but I'll promote this, because this I like. Yeah. This I don't like, because it was crap.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll promote this for you, but not that.
So do you only work with this one brand? You only use their products, or do you kind of...
Oh no, I work with, like, I do everything. Like, I'm constantly trying new stuff. Like, that's like one of my favorite things. Like, I'm trying different things, whatever. I'm just saying, like, right now so far, for the way that I work and how I work, that's like, I found, she was like, hey, you want to try my stuff? I was like, yeah, sure. And she gave me like a little bag. I loved it. I was like, hey. So then I just get it directly from her. It's like one of my favorites, and I'm still trying other ones. Yeah, you know, to see if I like something, because I always like to discover new stuff.
Yeah. Do they send you like stuff to try and say, hey?
I think a lot of brands already kind of sent them to me, and then I'm not one to like post it just because. And I think they kind of stopped because I'm not, you know what I mean?
That's what happened to me too.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not gonna, thank you, but like, I'm not gonna post it just because you sent it to me for free. Like, nah, I'm not trying to be one of those like, oh no, my page, you gotta pay me. No. I just like, I have to try it. And if I don't like it, I'm not gonna promote something that I don't think is good.
Yeah. And I've gotten like email after email after email. Hey, did you like the product? Hey, we haven't got a video from you yet. And I'm like,
I don't do. Yeah, no, I can't do that. I can't do that,
dude. I really just didn't like it.
Yeah,
you know. And I get PR from brands, and my assistant always says, "Oh, you got this, and I'm like, yeah, I already tried that before. Like, I know that I just don't like it, you know. But I know that people, like, I see constant sponsors that people do, and we all know what it's for.
Exactly. And it's like, and then the problem is that I think one other thing is there's so many new, like the newer nail techs are really young. This new generation is young. Like most of us were like 20s, 20 something. Well, I mean, I started 15. So but that wasn't the norm. That was like, oh my God, now a lot of nail techs are 16, 17, 18. So they're very, very, very like, and it's all about TikTok and it's all about Instagram. So they're very easy to influence. So you have a brand like Valentino, not saying it's a bad brand, but it's everywhere. So they're going to immediately think that's the tap and that's the only one. And that's like the goal to get, which shout out to them for their marketing. They put themselves on top, but then us nail techs that we've been around be like, okay, cool. I like this product. And like for me, are there certain products that I like? Do I like the whole line? No.
Yeah.
But everybody be like, oh my God, I want everything Valentino. And they strive to have everything Valentino because
the aesthetic, the marketing.
That was the word. Everything's about aesthetics.
Yeah.
It bugs me so much.
I feel like it is about for everyone, It's like they have a certain aesthetic they're trying to achieve. They do their TikToks a certain way because it's such a trend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like because you're such an OG, you're like, dude, this shit is just so fucking, like, you know what I mean? You started when there was nothing to promote. And now you're like around TikTok, Instagram, and it's like, I don't even know. Like for example, my facialist, she's been doing facials for 30 years. She's like, dude, I don't know how to record myself doing nails.
Yeah.
But she still has that same consistent clientele without even having to post.
Yeah. That's one thing that I will say, like, I think I did another part where they asked me stuff like, oh, how do you get your clients? Or I think try to get them as organically as you can. It's okay to depend on social media and help that. Like, that's a good tool. Like, let's use Instagram as a tool, but let's see, how do those followers translate into actual clients? So I think a lot of the old school stuff of like, okay, if I do your nails, hey, bring me your friend, give that girl a little discount because she brought you a friend. It doesn't have to be all the time. You don't have to promote it. Just yourself. Be like, you know what, girl, I'm not gonna charge you the design this time.
Yeah,
because you brought me your cousin. Thank you. Little things like that. You know what I mean? It's like all those things are gonna like people. Because another thing I realize is people come to nail techs because of also their personality. You're sitting there with that person for a while. You're sitting there for at least 2 hours, right?
Yeah,
an hour and a half. Let's say for really, some of the super fast ones an hour, but still that's a long time to sit there and just some people like to be in silent. Like I'm not gonna, it's like I think there was a trend right now. People like the silent appointment. Oh, I'm not the person to do that with.
I'm not either.
But I know so many girls that are introverted nail techs that's perfect for them. So they find themselves an introverted client and they're just sitting there in silence and you're just like,
who
it works.
Oh wow, I've never seen
it works and it works for them, and it's like, okay, cool, but you have to find your people. And I think that's the problem with social media. People want to compare, and it's like, no, work on your problem. Your people are going to come to you, and they're going to stick to you, and when they get rid of TikTok or when Instagram, you're still going to have your people and you're still going to make your money.
And that's such good advice because, a lot of people ask me too, like, how did you, get from where you were to here? Like, how are you staying consistent? Because people try opening up storefronts and they realize how hard it is.
Yeah, storefronts are no joke.
And I've had someone that works here currently that she tried opening a storefront. She said, I don't know how you did it. She had to come back and work here because it was really hard for her, And I just said, honestly, it's my personality. Like, it really is. Like, I always tell people, if you don't like to talk in your appointment, then I'm not the girl for you.
Yeah.
Or if you don't like someone funny and you don't like someone to joke around a lot, I'm really not the girl for you. We're not going to get along, And I feel like if I'm with you for that long, I have to like you too. You can't just like me. I got to like you too. Because, you know what I mean?
People talk about like prices and flex. I was like, I think my biggest flex is that like, I don't do people that I don't work on people I don't want to. Like, if I don't like you, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I really don't care. And that includes celebrity. I've said no to people. I'm like, nope.
For celebrities too?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
No, because it's like, why? And then obviously celebrities and those type of things, it gets there's like egos and people want to talk to you a certain way. And it's just like, no, if you don't set your boundary, then people can literally walk all over you.
Yeah. Have you ever had a celebrity that you worked and you were like, you worked with them and you just did not work with them ever again because of that one interaction?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There was one, and it's so funny because there's like drama with that person now because of who they were with.
Oh.
And oh my God, it was like I literally called because I was like agency job, and I was like, never, and I've never done that. I've always been very professional, like it is what it is. I just, whatever. But that one, I literally made it a point that as soon as I got into my car, I was like, I've never again put me with this person. Never again. Don't you, like, never. He was like, what happened? I'm telling him like the disrespect, like that person didn't even acknowledge me. Like literally, like first of all, waited on the lobby for hours. And then, yeah, for like, I think it was almost 2 hours. Like, and I was about to leave. I was like, you know what? I got another appointment, which I didn't. But I was like, I have another appointment. I gotta go. And I was like, and when we wait, once I got up there was people in the room. I don't know. I grew up with manners. I grew up with common decency.
Yes.
And hello, how are you? Thank you. Whatever.
Don't say they just...
You don't have to talk to me the entire time. Because also a lot of these a lot of these celebrities are overwhelmed because there's always so many people. So a lot of them are very quiet and very just, doesn't mean they're rude. They're quiet. They're overwhelmed. There's always constantly having to do. So they save their energy for when the cameras turn on, which I get. But this person did not even acknowledge me. She's, first of all, when I get there, I'm setting up and I can hear on the phone talking to somebody. I'm like, yeah, girl, like, my text here. And then the whoever it was were like, yeah, girl, who cares? Fuck that. Make them wait. Who cares? Like,
oh, you heard that?
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm setting up, doing my thing. And then I was just like, it's just like, no. And I did the nails. That it was fine. It wasn't anything like crazy. She liked the nails, whatever. But she just like, I was like, oh, you're good, whatever. She's like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, never once said hi or thank you, and then just got up, left. That was it. There was no acknowledgement of me as like a person or like, oh, you're there.
So fucking rude.
It was so rude.
I'm still human, and I've heard that, and I
hadn't had that. I was like, I didn't even have that when I started.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what I mean? I didn't even have that type of situation. Like I do. There's certain clients that I work with. It was funny because for a while there, I had a lot of controversial clients that are like, oh, they're mean, no here, da da. But to me, I never had that experience. So I'm like, hey, I personally, to me, they're nice. They're respectful to me, so I'm not ever, you know what I mean? Like, certain people could be difficult or whatever. But to me, I hadn't experienced that. So I was like, as long as they're not disrespectful to me, I'm good.
Yeah.
And that was always like the thing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, even until that person, I was like, oh, no.
They just want to join a bandwagon. Like, if that person hates that person, everyone's going to say, oh, actually, I had an experience like that, but they really actually never probably did.
Or it also that, because I've also experienced that where certain people that are like known to not be the easiest to work with, they'll be like, oh my God, like, dude, like rude, and then to me like, hi, and I'm like, okay, like everyone just looked at me like, what? They're like me, I don't know.
Yeah,
because also one big thing is when you do those type of clients, you cannot be a fan.
Oh yeah. I'm not even a fangirl when I see them out. If I see them, like, I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't be a fan. A lot of people are like, oh my God, I want to do so and so bad. Oh my God. No.
Maybe just scream on the inside, but you cannot show it if you really are.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. If I ever met Nicki Minaj, in my head, I'd probably start crying. But I would never show that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just so professional. I'm so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my mind is
scream
somewhere
when you
else. Leave. Yeah.
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 It happened to me once. It was a male client, which now I'm like, ugh. But in that moment, I liked him. It was cool, and I was like, oh yeah, it's cool, yeah. And it was actually at Nikki's house, and she was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna go get ready because he needs a manicure. Do his manicure, and I was like, okay. So I'm just like, oh hey, and he was just like talking to me like, so hey, like, so long you been doing this? And I'm just like, just normal, right? And the moment I left, I literally called a friend. I was like,
yep.
Yeah, I think the security heard me screaming, but the security guard outside was like, I think he heard me screaming for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that moment, he like, oh yeah, you're another person. I'm like, you bite your nails. Why are you biting your nails, sir? Like, I'm over here like
making a fucking rat. Like, if it's like a real like at home client, just trying to make that face,
Yeah, you can't fangirl. You can't fan it. You have to, like you said, keep your composure, whatever, or like these people that are reach out to other people because like, oh my God, let me do your nails. Like, no.
So do you think someone should do that? Do you think that people like now that are in the industry
I tell
should
people,
reach out?
Get your money, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want to do, whatever. But I think too many people are too hyped up on the names and on the titles, on the egos, on all that type of stuff, or like how many followers. It's not even about the money anymore. If it was about the money, I'd be like, hey girl, get your money. But it's not about the money. yeah, it's like exposure. With exposure, I can't go to my house and be like, hey, so I don't have money, but I have exposure. Like, what if I post it online like I live at this apartment building?
Yeah.
Like, can I get a free month and tell people that I love my apartment? Like,
yeah, what is it gonna get you?
Yeah. Yeah. Or my car note, like, hey, go tell the fucking May brand, like, hey, so like I can't pay my car note, but like, you know, I tell people I really love your car and it drives really nice.
But you know what? I really think a lot of nail people or people in the nail industry, they do that, but they really want to be an influencer low key.
No, it's not low key. It's very high key. It's not low key. It's
they
want to
be.
That's fine. Yeah. If that, but again, what is the purpose? Do you want to be an influencer so you can make real money? Because just because you have certain little things you post doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be money, because there's so many nail techs nowadays. There's so many people that are streaming. There's so many people that are podcasts, things like that. Like, you has to have an eventual, like, I think that's another talent. Like, can you translate that into money?
We were just talking about that too. We're like, we do this because eventually we know it's going to turn the outcome of money. Yeah. We know that what's going to happen. And by me doing this, I know what the outcome is going to be, you know?
But in this case, I think it's also because this type of thing is needed because it's also a way of educating. And that's why I like to do these type of things. Like, people ask me whenever it has to do to like beauty stuff, I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm like. Drove like mile and got stopped, but you know, I got
shout out to her.
I got pulled over. I got a speeding ticket in here.
She messaged me. She's like, "Girl, I'm about to be a little late." I said, "It's okay." She's like, "I got pulled over." I said, "Girl, take your time. Take it." She dead ass got pulled over.
I'll show you the ticket right now. I really did. I was like, oh god, he was nice too. At least he didn't get. He was like, hey, you know, you were going 80 when you slowed down. You were slowing down. I was like, don't do that. I was just trying to get here, you know. But yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, education. See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, things like this are needed.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people have podcasts for like different reasons. Yeah, like just to talk, you know, or just to, you know. But I feel like this one, I really came up with the concept because I wanted to interview people about the industry and what really goes on behind the scenes and what a lot of people don't talk about. And from every industry, not just one, because there could be just an esthetician industry or just different. You know. So this one is all around every industry.
Yeah, and it's crazy because then you listen to things and you're like, it's so different, but it's also so much the same.
Yes, yeah, it could be. You know,
a lot of things is very similar,
and they could talk about like the same thing. But that's why I wanted to incorporate seeing how it is how like someone that's a nail tech could relate to someone that's, you know, completely like. What did I interview? What did she do? What's Bertha? She's a trainer. Yeah. You know, she's a workout trainer. Yeah. So like, how do we relate to her? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, beauty or all that is, we could do our own thing, estheticians, nails, hair, whatever, but we're all dependent on each other. Yes. It's a big industry. So like right now, you know, we see a lot of people, you know, you saw the thing about like lash techs, you know,
getting canceled
or like lash techs just kind of like going down because people are doing their own thing, like things like that. The same things happen in the nail industry where people can now they do their gel X or now they do press on. So the press on industry has gone up. So then as a nail tech, you could also shift and do custom press ons. You know what I mean? Like now, and then like we had a little bit of backlash with, you know, Pink Friday where people were like, oh, you know, we could do it. It's like, no, you could still get your custom press-ons. We can never match that. But this is just like a nice little middle because we were noticing that the press-ons back then, like the press-ons that were in the thing were like just janky, little plasticky. And ours are like nice. Like I brought you some extra so you can like try some. But they're like thick. They feel like a gel X, for example. They feel sturdy. Like if they're a clear base, you can gel X them onto if you like a gel or but that's separate. That's only like if you know what you're doing. But if not, you can glue them, you can say whatever. But and then we had to fill that in, and obviously, but there's still those nail techs who are still going to do the custom press-ons because people want a specific design. There's still the people who are like unique. So my point to this is saying like you have to adapt with the times as nail techs, as lash techs. Okay, so like lash techs, if you guys can't do that, well, maybe create your own line or something, you know, so that we could still, or create your own strips. I don't know, like figure out a way to like adapt. So I think all of us clicking in with each other, we get to know where the economy's at, because you know we all know we're headed to shit. We're headed to tough times. Like let's be honest. And a lot of these things we started noticing in our industry before other industries. Yeah, it was the strippers in the beauty industry. Like, you know what I mean? Like people stop going to strip club, people stop getting, you know, and that's how you know that the economy is bad. Yeah, and we make a joke, but it's true. It's true. So I think that's, you have to be able to, you have to hear from different people. So if you start noticing that hair is going down, lashes going down, nose is down, that's just one thing. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah, that's so true.
So we need those multiple sources.
And I feel like that's such a good thing because not a lot of people say, hey, I can't afford to go get my nails right now, but I do have these press-ons, and I feel like that's why they're huge.
Yeah.
And they want to change it for each event. So they're like, I can't get my nails done every 2 weeks. So this is, I found a really good brand that is, makes press-ons, and it's easy.
Yeah. And I think the coolest thing right now is that by speaking to back to just nails, there's so many options now. There's so many options. Like, I still, like, when Gelix came out, a lot of my clients tried Gelix, but they're like, I don't like this shit. I don't like having to take the shit off every time. Like, I don't like it. I don't got time for this. Like, I don't want this having to take it off, because my clients, which is like, how is it more healthy if you have to take it off every time? And I'm like, acetone also dries out your nose, but that's besides the point, But they don't like it. They like their acrylic because they get the same shape. So everything works. So there's going to be the girls who are going to be true to their acrylic. We're just like, I'd rather get a fill because I get the same shape all the time. What's the point of me taking it off? I'm getting the same shape every time.
Yeah.
A fill is so much faster than taking off and putting on. Mm-hmm. But then there's the girls that like that they're softer, that they're bendy, Gelix. But then you got the classic girls that like the hard gel. They're like, tend to be like the nurses, the more classy, the simple nails, we love hard gel. But then people forgot about hard gel. Now it's funny because I saw another one where it's like the mold ones, I forgot the name. But it's like they've been around forever, but they're like, people are like
coming it up.
Because... like, oh, it's new. And I'm like, it's not. It's nothing is new, you guys. Nothing. The Gelix did come in new. That was like the newest thing. But everything before, like, it's all the same. Yeah. Just recycled. And so people just like a Joe Manny. I saw a lot of people now. I've noticed a lot of people going back to natural nails and polish. Like, I noticed that the regular polish is also booming. Yeah. And it's like, who would have thought?
The dip too?
We don't talk about that one. We don't encourage that one.
I'm like,
that's just acrylic with glue.
For reals?
Yeah, it's just acrylic with glue.
I've never gotten it.
So. Don't do it. I'm not a fan. And that's one of those things where I worked a brand and they were like, hey, I was like, I'm not promoting that because that's not true. I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to use that.
But I seen that started coming up all of a sudden too.
I think people are catching on that it's literally glue and acrylic. That's all it is. It's just some finely milled, like a little bit different, but it's still just acrylic and glue. So you basically do glue and then you put the acrylic and it's basically the same thing. But then even that works for certain people.
Not for me. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, some people. And then there's the people who want to do their nails at home because it's fun and it distresses them. And I had clients who were like, they're literally once after the whole COVID thing, we're like, okay, I bought all these things, you can have them. And I'm like, okay. I literally had like 3 or 4 clients.
I wanted to be a nail tech once in my life.
Yeah.
Gelix though. Okay.
It was mostly Gelix because Gelix is easy to kind of do. But see, even that, there's certain things that now we're starting to see, like people with like dermatitis and things like that, because they're using the products wrong because everybody thinks they can do it at home and there's rules because you got overexposure or uncured gels, things like that. And there's like deeper issues.
So this is going to cause a little bit of do you think someone should be licensed before even starting nails, or they should do like a course to see if they like the nail industry, or say, hey, I'm going to go straight into getting my manicures licensing?
I think there's a thing wrong because this is kind of it, where if you're just doing your family's nails, if you're just doing like your friends and family and you're not like charging, you're just doing it to see if you truly like it. Yeah. That's a very different thing as to like actually going out there and like.
But they want to make money from it though.
That's where it gets a little like
there's that. I want to start doing clients, but then, I'm not sure if I like it, so I'm gonna see.
I mean, I say get licensed because all of us that are licensed, it's kind of like we're licensed with it. But at the same time, if we really think about it, the licensing format is so random. It's so random. Like no state is the same. So is it even worth it? Like I feel like what would have to be done if it more of like a federally, like some type of federal. Not federal, but like the same through all of the states, to where all the states require the same amount of hours. All the states require the same amount of thing. And it's mostly, I think the biggest thing and the reason why we should be licensed is because of things like that. People don't learn, or what I see these people doing pedicures and they're like, green, you're not supposed to do any. Like, I get it. You got an ugly no toenail and you want to fix it, but you're not supposed to put acrylic over it.
And I see people do that all the time. Like,
you're technically not supposed to put acrylic over toes, but that's the whole thing. But like, that's teach Trump. You want to mess up your toenails and make them thinner? Okay. But like now you're putting over like that's like a fungus. That's not a green spot. That's a fungus. Like you could tell because it's like black and gold. You could tell it's like breaking down. A little green spot, that's different. And they became a thing, and of like fixing all these toenails. I mean, we just blatantly telling people it's okay to put nails on funguses, and you're using a brush that you're going to use on somebody else, and you're touching that like primer, you dipped it in there, like you could tell that there's no like, and that's the things you learn in school.
Yeah,
they don't teach those in the courses, because like when I do classes, I'm not teaching that because I'm expecting that most of these already know that.
No, you're just teaching
I'm
the way you.
Yeah, I'm teaching you my techniques, my sculpted, whatever.
Yes,
but that's why I feel like we should have licensing, but I think it needs to be better regulated because it's so arbitrary throughout the whole country and the world. Like some countries don't even have it. Like Mexico, for example, they don't have it, so they do whatever they want. So I feel like there has to be something, or at least take some type of course or some type of certificate to where it says at least you understand the concept of like certain nail diseases or certain, obviously
the basic
cleaning.
fundamentals,
yeah, sanitation, all that
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
But that all is the same.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I feel like someone should take a course maybe to see, but get licensed no matter what, obviously. But you're right. Yeah, completely right. I didn't know they did that for the fucking toenails. I've seen it.
You've seen the videos. I've
seen the videos.
I mean, it's kind of satisfying to watch them peel that and stuff off. Like I'm one of those like pimple popping people, but like that stuff.
Yeah, but I didn't know that you weren't supposed to put.
No,
see, I didn't. I'm not a nail tech girl, but I learned something. And most people don't.
And then you see girls and clients, and there you go, and they're doing that. Or like, going back to the gelists when they're doing their own nails, you see it, and the gel's like all over the hands. I'm like, eventually, you're gonna get a reaction.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I see Instagram videos, and I feel like I get educated on that. But then when someone says it's something else, and you're telling me, I'm like, okay, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, like that's another thing with the whole social media is like people will just throw out stuff just so they could get a view, and it's like that's not even true. But you just
it's true. No, it's true. Okay, well, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
You were literally the best. Such an honor. I was like, I was scared shitless. I was like, you guys, because I love Nicki. I've been a fan of her. Girl, let me just tell you, I don't even want to get into it, but I love her. So when I was messaging you, I was like, I was fangirling, but in my head,
So you're like, see, there you go. You kept it professional.
Yeah, I kept it professional, but inside I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I see people all the time. I interview people all the time, but I'm like, I get nervous too.
Yeah.
And let's look at cameras, lights. I still get nervous.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It's like, I was telling a friend, I'm going to go do this today. And then she was like, somebody was like, oh, you can go. I was like, I'm nervous. She's like, girl, stop acting. I'm like, I still get nervous at first. Okay.
Yeah. First 5 minutes, I'm nervous. Then I get over
it. Yeah.
So we always end this podcast with a quote. Do you have a quote in mind?
I think the biggest thing that I always say is everything happens for a reason. And I literally have that tattooed because it's just like one of those things where I've learned it. And every time I doubt it, it happens. Like there's a reason things didn't work out a certain way. So when it comes to like nails and stuff, if certain things aren't working, that means maybe you have to shift another way, or maybe you're too comfortable or whatever. But like things are happening for a reason. You just have to pay attention and try to figure out the reason sometimes.
Yeah.
But
that's a good one. Because everything that's happened to you really did happen for a reason.
Yeah. And it's funny because I had that tattoo before and then it's just like, yep. And we're here now. You know what I mean? Like if I had a salon or I had whatever, I wouldn't have been able to do all these things. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to freaking travel and do all these amazing things I've gotten to do.
Yeah. So it really does happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for driving.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for getting a ticket for me.
And I want to chip in. My Venmo is getting.
We'll answer it right here. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you back again.
Yeah.
For the next one.
Yeah. Let me know. It was fun.
We'll do this again.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.